Welcome back to Sunrise. If you're just joining us, you're locked into the right channel. Yes. It's a male takeover Monday.
If you didn't know.
If you didn't know, now you know. It is time for the headlines with TK. And when TK comes, panam panam. We don't want bad news. Panam panam. Only the news. Panam panam.
It's a remix. Remix.
Yeah.
That's the male makeover remix.
I know it's male takeover time, but you know, we have to sprinkle a touch of, lady in the mix. You know what I mean?
Every time.
Can't leave us out. Can't leave us out. But, guess whose birthday it is before we even jump into it? It's Rohan Daly's birthday.
Rohan Daly.
Veteran broadcaster.
Daily Social.
Right here at CVM, been here
Who's that
for
person posing back beside? Go back to the previous image.
That's legal life.
Who is that person posing, standing outside of the stable beside Roy?
What's your...
Rohan Daly. Remember, when you replay the tape, remember who said what, right? Happy birthday to you.
It was yesterday, so hopefully he had a wonderful day. Sending you lots of love from your CVM fam.
I won at the races.
Hey.
No, run in this business long time. Hey, look at them throwback images.
Run in the business. So,
read sports with me in high school,
Yeah, man, absolutely.
As a veteran, So you look at them and you say, good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Big up Ron Daly, the original. Yeah.
True. But let's jump into the headlines.
Yes.
Let's see what was happening over the weekend. So Joe Biden pulls out. President Joe Biden announced yesterday that he will end his presidential re-election campaign, bringing an abrupt conclusion to his 50-year political career and scrambling the race for the White House just 4 months before U.S. Election Day. Biden has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris, who, if elected president, would be the first woman, the first African-American woman, and the first Asian-American woman to be nominated by a major party for the presidency, a feature made particularly significant locally given her Jamaican descent.
That is pretty interesting. And of course, it makes the race even so much more interesting with all that was happening. Recently happened.
It's been a very eventful...
President Trump, all that is happening. All eyes are now on the elections that are coming up. Well, let's see who. I think, I don't know.
I put it to you, if it should be, they should open it, because I don't know that Vice President Harris is necessarily the best choice. The Democratic Party is going to have to weigh. They're going to immediately start doing the numbers. I'm sure that the pollsters have been in the field, and they've been in the field from before to kind of say, all right, if not Biden, then who? Biden, they wouldn't have taken this step if they didn't have some idea of who. At this stage, this late in the campaign, in order to go up against Trump, I think you need somebody who has executive experience. And so they may not opt for a senator, they may opt for a governor. So mostly the candidates are either senators or governors. And the advantages that governors have is that a governor has run a state. So they have executive experience rather than somebody who's been on the White House, they've had, or on Capitol Hill, they've had legislative experience. I think that maybe they're going to choose one of their strong governors as opposed to Kamala Harris, who was a was from the Senate before.
I don't know, we have long been past that era, that point where we thought initially that Trump was not a solid candidate. Remember that at the very beginning, we have long past that. Now, as it is, I am thinking that whoever is selected is going to be pretty interesting based on what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, and how people are responding to Trump's run this year. So it should be interesting to see if anyone could really put up a good run against Trump.
I endorse that point. I think that if Trump wasn't doing as well as he was doing, the pressure wouldn't have mounted for Biden to step aside.
Makes sense.
And some people, initially when the story came out, I saw that Biden steps out after the horrible debate. the debate, already the communication post-debate was, it was a bad debate, people lose debates and bounce back, etc., etc., etc. After that assassination attempt, Trump's numbers were improving significantly, and they knew that this might not just be about holding on to the White House, but this might be, is it going to be a case where Trump fever is going to overtake the political landscape in America, and you're going to lose both houses. So you may have quite a bit of loss, and so the Democratic Party is trying to cauterize the situation.
4 months before the election, when there is,
it might be better that way.
It
could be better that way.
Adjective that's pretty interesting.
Because maybe if you had taken out Biden early and you had a new, Trump would have had months to hammer this person on the campaign trail. It's now shorter, so you have less time for you to hate them. There's a newness factor, and you go into the rest of the year, and it might turn out well, it might not.
Well, let's see. 4 months, we shall see. We'll see how the campaign goes. Next up, yesterday was active. Security breach at the airport. Yesterday, Sangster International Airport reported that a security breach occurred at the airport involving an item which appeared to be a firearm that passed through the pre-board passenger screening machine manned by port security officers. In keeping with protocols, the airport management triggered full emergency security procedures, which entailed the cessation of boarding and the departure of flights until the passenger, bag, and item were identified. The passenger and bag in question were located, but the item was not immediately found, prompting further search within the terminal for the possibility of dumping. When the emergency investigation concluded, the passenger involved was taken into custody along with the suspicious item that was later identified as a lighter in the form of a firearm. Normal operations were able to resume at the airport at approximately 2:30 p.m. However, officials say that the processing of departing flights was delayed, which had a knock-on effect on the other flights for the day.
I have been hearing there are some glitches. We spoke about it last weekend in the computer systems, and it affected flights last weekend. We had an event in Montego Bay, Reggae Sumfest, so obviously passenger arrivals and departure would have been heavier than normal. So I am happy that they were able, with all this activity, to capture this item. It really speaks volumes about the level of security that we are here in Jamaica. And I say kudos to the team to spot a lighter, which was in the form of a firearm. So I'm really proud that that has happened in the way it has, because it says that we have a sound and solid security team at the airport.
I feel the same way. I think that I feel more secure, not less, because it gives you a look behind the curtain of what takes place. We always hear things like the non-intrusive examination process that takes place, and we hear, we all are annoyed by having to take off our shoes at TSA and put it all through the things and have it scanned. But the truth is that when things are picked up, they're supposed to be picked up, and if it was big enough to arouse suspicion, that means it probably wasn't a small lighter. It probably was a large enough lighter to arouse sufficient. But imagine if it was more.
Devil's advocate.
Imagine if it was more.
Devil's advocate. Devil's advocate. I agree, and I'm definitely not upset about it at all. However, it did miss. It did go through screening, and so one would think that, let's say it was, not a lighter. The fact that it passed that first screening, I feel like had it been a suspicious item, the first screening should have caught it, and that way it wouldn't have had the massive, there were hours and hours of delays. And so, though I feel good that there is this security procedure and there is this process in place, I feel like if it went through a preliminary screening, I feel like it should have been caught.
I'm mindful about treading down that trajectory of the narrative, given what the facts are versus the facts that have been reported.
I only know what's been reported.
Yes.
I don't have anything to add or subtract from that.
Listen. That was Sunday or Saturday? So that was Sunday, right?
Sunday.
That was
Sunday. Yeah,
the
that was Sunday.
incident? It was yesterday,
That was
Sunday, right?
And we're going to be talking about Sunday, Monday. I'm just going there because I'm going here.
Yes,
thank you very much, TK, for the headlines. If you've never heard about Sunday, Monday, part of your life is missing. Not to worry, though, because this morning we'll be introducing you to Sunday, Monday vibes. Up after we return, breakfast is served.
Thankfully.
Ready?
Ready.
I think I'll stay for this one.
Yeah.
You should.